Villasenor, Matt B. We don't. I mean, it's like Matt B. If you say Matt B., everybody knows who you're talking about. And I first kind of met Matt. You were helping Chris and AP out you were coaching at Long Beach Poly. You were doing your thing there. And anyway, Matt is like a younger version of me. If I would have been introduced to the world,
a better looking version too.
What's that?
A better looking version too.
So yes, much. And no, but I mean, like, dude, you're a hustler. You're a go-getter. You make shit happen. So anyway, and
we still like
result. There's a lot of kids that are benefiting from what you've done, the groundwork you've led, the relationships you built. So just fill us in. First of all, I want to get to the premium stuff and what you do. But, man, one of the most impressive things I think in California, forget high school football or whatever, was what you and Pops did at Sierra Vista.
Yeah.
How many wins did the Dons have in the previous 5 years before you guys got there?
The previous 2 years before us, they had one. They were 1-19. I believe they were somewhat like 8 and 70 something in the past. They're like 8 or 9 wins in the past 7 years or something like that.
All right, and this past season, you guys, your record?
We went 11-1. 11-1.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, 11-1, and we have like a big time rivalry. It's kind of like, it feels like an SEC game. The tickets sell out the week before the game. People are trying to get in. I mean, it's madness. It's Baldwin Park. I mean, the school's only. It's funny because the school has only beat Sierra Vista only beat them 3 times in existence. I mean, it was so bad a couple of years ago that they canceled the game. So we broke a 20-year drought. And it was funny because Mississippi State wide receiver Coach Johnson. I didn't even know this. He went to Baldwin Park High School, so he messaged me and was like, "Hey man, you did something that's not supposed to happen." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Man, I'm a Baldwin Park alumni. Alumni were in my DM like, hey, your guy beat us this year."
Damn, but that's pretty cool though. I mean, that's how things kind of go. So Mississippi State coach has got some tie to what you guys were doing there, and knows. Yeah. But there's also some guys on that football team now that I honest to God, I tell people that about you and tell them what you do. Sierra, I mentioned Sierra Vista, and there's still a lot of people in Southern California that don't know where that's located. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's in Baldwin Park. It's like on the top, right off the 605 and the 10 freeway.
Yeah,
and we're like a mile and a half from Bishop Vermont.
So what you guys did, I mean, to me, I think about something like that, and it just kind of blows my mind. And it doesn't matter what level you're playing at. When you do what you guys have done, 11-1, whatever your record was, it's impressive. Just what I mean, when you come into a program like that, what are the things that you need to get done right away? I mean,
yeah. We had like the media will say that we had transfers and everything, but we had one kid that transferred in, and he sat 5 games, and he sat 5 games for us. But everyone else was at the school. We just, recruited within the school. Walked the campus, and I'm blessed to be on campus. So walked the campus and said, "Hey man, you should play football." And these are kids that, like our best player, one of our best players, he didn't even play his junior year of football. He was at the school, but he didn't play. And he was one of our best. He was a league MVP. But these are just kids that it's hard when you go your freshman year, your sophomore, junior year, you win 1 game. It's harder. You don't want to play football no more, kind of a way. So just recruited within the school, and before we got there, since they had let go of the coach before we got there, there was 2 kids that went there their freshman year, sophomore year that left. And they came back because obviously they left because of coach or whatever, but they came back, which helped us. But yeah, I mean, to do it with this kids that are in that area and from that school from freshman year on, I mean, it's kind of impressive, I mean, they bought in and it showed on Friday nights.
But you guys also brought a style of offense. You guys weren't just winning football games. You were kind of kicking ass out there, taking names.
Yeah, I mean,
what is the offense you guys brought in?
It's like a spread offense. It's like a spread up tempo offense. Try to just get the ball in playmakers' hands and then let them be playmakers. Just symbolize the game and let them go.
Yep.
But it's to me it's like you have coaches, right, in high school football. Shit, if I was at Modern Day or Bosco, we won't lose a game just because we have the talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's like, what can you do when there's no talent? Or what can, like I'll give you another example. There's not many programs like my guys at Inglewood that would want to take over an 0-10 team. Or like us.
Yeah.
If you looked at Sierra Vista pop up on a job search, you looked at Max Preps, the first thing you're going to is Max Preps. You see 1-19, 0-10, only averaging 10, 14 points a game. You're like, I don't want that job.
Yeah.
Ain't got nobody there. You know what I mean? But we proved that, you know what I mean? There is some kids. We have 2 kids that are national recruits since we've been on campus.
And we want to talk about those guys too after.
Yeah.
The first thing you brought my attention to, everybody's attention, not just me. The first guy you made sure we all knew about, and not just us coaches across the country, was Nick. And just tell us about him and where he's at right now.
Yeah, just Nick is example one. He's people don't understand this. Like, Nate Dimitri's been playing football for 1 full season, so his upside's crazy. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 240. He's getting better as it gets on, right? He's only been to 2 camps his whole high school career. 1 camp was Under Armour camp, right? The second camp was Rivals, and he won a defensive line MVP at the Rivals camp. Mm-hmm. So it just shows like what his capability is and what like his ceiling is so high. Like, this kid has never personal trained with nobody until like the past month or so. He probably been in like 4 workouts. Yeah. You know? But people don't understand either. Like, he's a foster kid. The kid don't got much, you know? So you take a kid with that hunger from being a foster kid. I mean, I was never a foster kid, but I only can imagine what he's been through in life, you know? Yeah. Shoot, he lived in a group home. He started at Dorsey High School. The foster system's so messed up for kids. So he started at Dorsey High School. He got bused to Kern County, right? He got bused to Kern County. At his time in Kern County, after that, he got bused to Cathedral City. This is a kid that, you know, he might not want to left that school, but the way that the rules are in the state is like, man, you can be here tomorrow, gone today, here yesterday, gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, his story is like his story is gonna be phenomenal, man. I really do think this kid, when he picks the right university, if he dialed in for 3 years, he can be a guy in the National Football League and change his whole family's his whole family situation. You know what I mean? Because just the hunger. I mean, he's so raw, so his natural ability. Look at him as like a specimen. Like, man, what can I do with that kid? You know?
And you know, he told me himself, you know, how blessed he feels that you guys connected, that he, you know, that you met, and you came into his life, and
that's a kid like.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah, Scott. Nick's a kid too. Like, when I met him, you know, I mean, people will see his size and probably have told him everything, like trying to be father figures in his life. You know, I mean, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. I just met him and I told him, look, I'm not going to tell you what I can do for you. I'm just going to show you what I can do for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then he just told him, just work hard. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you. And within a month or two, he was a national guy. You know?
You know, the thing about Matt is Matt can talk with the best of them. Like, but Matt also like backs his shit up. I mean, it's like crazy.
No,
you know, and it's like he follows through on everything. So that's, to me, that's extremely impressive. So, do you guys? I mean, I'm gonna have more questions later on, but do you guys have some questions here for Matt?
Yeah, hey, Coach, I got one for you. So,
hey, Mark,
how you doing, man?
Good.
So earlier, you're kind of trying to put into context how you got the team going, and you know, the media was said it was because of transfers, and I kind of sense there's a little defensiveness from you there.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about that in a second. Is there a negative stigma, you know, with public schools?
I mean, not public schools. I think there's just a negative stigma because when you get a team,
the private schools were like heck. Coach Nagel was on here.
No. Yeah, I don't think it's a stigma of recruiting or battles. You know, each program does a great job with what they do. You know what I mean? But I think what it was you have a young guy like me, right, an older dude like my dad, who is, people can say I'm loud. You know, I'm kind of loud. I shake the tree. You know what I mean? Like Scott's a go-getter. But when you take you got to think about this. When you take a school that has never been relevant, that every team sees them on the schedule, and man, I'm a dog that team. That's a win for us. That's a homecoming game for us. And you go to an area of majority minority, right? Majority minority area, and you come in there and you say, I'm gonna bring national dudes on campus. I'm gonna bring these coaches on campus. I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna do that. On social media, we're loud, right? This never happened. This is Little Sierra Vista. How can they do that? And everything we said, we did. So it's like, did we offend some people in the area? We probably did. You know, I'm not gonna lie and say we were saints, but but they can't. But it is what it is, right?
Well, I have no problem with it. I mean, we follow the young men who because we follow recruiting, and this is all they do all day long is, brand themselves and market themselves, and they're loud and look at me. So I have no problem with the high school program doing it, and as long as you're doing it the right way, who cares? Be loud, fight on, man.
You got to make some noise to compete with those private schools in that league. You know what I mean? So
you got to make a noise to compete. And and I said in one interview early on in the year is people just don't like change in life. People were so used to a routine, and the routine was beating Sierra Vista, and that's not the normal no more in our area. You know what I mean? So now it's like it puts other coaches on the thing, like, because you have other schools in the area. I might say if I'm a small school in the surrounding area that is complacent, you might say their admin might say, hey, I want that for our school now. You know what I mean? Because that's what it came down to. The admin at Sierra Vista came down to, man, we got to make a change. And a good high school, if you have a good football team, you have a good high school. It all starts with the fall sports. I believe it all starts with the football season.
Right. Nah, you're definitely.
You know what I mean?
Now, the football team can definitely bring a high school together. It
definitely can.
Brings the campus together. And I just want to commend you, Coach, for going out on campus and finding talent. I think that's a big thing that a lot of schools, similar schools in similar situations, don't do enough of. They don't recruit from within and go find kids. Like you said, it's tough coming back to play for a team that's only won one game in 2 years.
It's tough, man. It's tough. Like
big.
We have three kids that are freshmen, right? That they played freshman football. When we got there, it was like, yeah, all right, it's gonna be the same old thing. So they didn't play. They opted out not to play the year, right? Right after the season was done, there was, man, we playing next year, coach. I told everyone in the campus, I told you guys last spring this was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that they want to play again. You know what I mean? I want 80, 90 kids on the field if I can get it.
Right. Coach, I want to ask you, what do you think was the biggest thing you had to show these kids to get them to buy in to what you guys were telling them?
I think just they felt like our passion, our dedication, and kind of like you kind of get a vibe off people. You know what I mean? Like I told them I'm never gonna quit on you guys, right?
Right.
And it's just the belief, and when you got coaches coming around campus and talking to kids and showing their face, and the whole student body can see these coaches and everything like that, it kind of changes who you want to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
You kind of got like a hope, a sense of hope now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids nowadays just got no hope. They hear about it, they hear that, they can see it. You know what I mean? But it's not real.
Yeah. Hey, what comes with you guys also being you and especially you, because of the connections you have, is you guys all of a sudden start having these college coaches start passing through Sierra Vista also. Just for the people that aren't aware, talk about some of the college coaches that you had in your office there at Sierra Vista.
Alabama, Florida, SC, Chip, Cali, Notre Dame, Texas, Florida State, and we had like almost everybody. You know what I mean? And then it was just like came down to it, like with Anthony Rosas, our next national guy. I knew he was going to be big time, but I was so hard on him because I knew his ability. I never gave him no love. After the after the second game of the season, I was like, "It's your time now." Now I let the dog out. I started hitting the coaches like, "Man, this is a guy," and they got mad at me like, "How can you show me him when I was on your campus?" I let the world know about him that it was his time.
Yeah, and then, you gotta expose them when they're ready. Sometimes,
when they're ready. And both of my kids are 16 years old. They're like, you know what I mean? They're gonna graduate at 17. They're not gonna be 18 till week one of their freshman season in college. So they're young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're young. They're raw. They're nasty. They're talented. They got motors. They want to punish people, and they want to do good for their families. Like this, they're just not good football players. They're good kids, like in the community. They're good kids on campus. They're leaders. You know what I mean? Like I don't care how good of an athlete you are. I want to know how good, what kind of young man you are too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey,
right.
what does it go? how do you put together your out of conference schedule? And do you have a problem doing that, or are teams hesitant to schedule you now?
I mean, last year we got the schedule because we got there in March, so the schedule was what it was. You know what I mean? But this coming year, it was a little challenging to get teams on the schedule in our area. Like a lot of people in our area wanted us. You know what I mean? Because we're loud and everything. But when it came time to ask to play a game, it was like crickets. You know?
No.
But I mean we got a schedule though. We amped up our schedule now because I think in the second round we were so used to we were up 14-0 before we touched the ball on offense, right? We were up 14-0. But I think we're so accustomed to just teamers are gonna fold on us. Right? I think one week we had 7 players suspended for a fight the previous week in the football game. The media was going crazy, like, oh, they're not gonna win. This is gonna derail the hype train or whatever. And the following Friday with 7 players suspended, we won 88-32. You know, so. But I think if we played tougher teams in preseason, it would have helped us for that second round of the playoffs of pushing through and getting past a hump. You know what I mean?
88 points. I heard you correctly.
When did you get? How long have you known Fig?
I know Fig for a long time, man. Long time before Premium.
All right, so you guys, Premium to get started. Matt is the recruiting coordinator for Premium, and just for me, you know, I know how the process goes on, how you develop contacts and so on, but how did you get to the point right now to where you pretty much can call every coaching staff in the country, you know, whenever you feel like it? How did that process start?
I think it's just hustling, man, and staying on it, and then true by your word. I think another one like Fig's my brother, right? That's my guy. Like he called me, I'm there. No matter where it is or whatever, I'm gonna figure out a way to get there for him. This is because the way I feel about him and our relationship. But the thing about it, I think we do a good job is, since the past 2 years, right? Fig had talked to us in the group chat. What if we play at a tournament out of state and go visit schools? A lot of these coaches have the stigma of, right? Every kid. If I'm in South Carolina, I call a kid in LA. What's the kid gonna tell me so I can get the offer on the phone? Coach, I'm gonna go see you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I like your program. I'm gonna go. Trust me, coach. I'm gonna go see you. So what the coach is gonna do? I'm gonna offer the kid, because if I don't offer the kid, he ain't never going to come to see me anyways. Right? So I think with us getting on campus is big. Is big. And like I tell coaches, man, if we say, me or Fig or anyone in Premium says, Coach, we're coming, we're coming, we're going to make it happen, there's no questioning us. Like, man, these guys are for real. And all these coaches talk. Right, I had never had it was funny because I had never had I had a contact at Michigan, right, Pep Hamilton, but he left and he was with the XFL team. So after he left, I never really had a contact with them. So Sean Newell hits me up in my DM like, hey man, I'm at the coaches convention, and every coach is telling me like who the people are that we need to contact, right? So it's like when you do right by these coaches and everything that they're going to talk, it's like going to a movie theater, right? How does everyone know that movie? How does everyone know the Fast and the Furious was good? Because after I saw it, man, I told my friend, man, you gotta go see that movie. Yeah. So I think getting on campus is big, and just backing up your word, man. If you say something, you got to do it. And all you got in this recruiting game is your word. And we tell coaches, man, like we can maybe help you get a kid, but you got to recruit the kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we can't just say like, oh man, you got to go here, or you got to go there. No, you got to recruit the kids still. You got to recruit the family. You got to get to know the kid. What is he like? What doesn't he like? What does his dad do? What does the mom do? Where are they from? You know what I mean? What's their background? And I think a lot of schools don't do a good job recruiting.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's one local school that was doing a really bad job for a few years, but the other one still is. I don't know what's up with LA, but just right now, and talking to the Premium guys. Talk to Anthony Beavers. Anthony's kind of like that stealthy dude. That's kind of like he's kind of like this guy. You know, where Anthony goes, a lot of other guys go, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I would assume. I would hope. You know, that these kids, they try to put together a class and promote a class and all be there and achieve one goal. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But with these guys, they're, you know, in talking to those guys, they're talking about there's certain programs right now that are really doing well. We're seeing it in Texas with Virginia Tech, and I think it's national with them. I think they're doing a good job with you guys. You went back there and took kids there. Just talk about some coaching staffs right now that get it, and you know what I mean by get it.
Yeah, but I think one you talked about Virginia Tech. I mean, when you think about this, right? The thing I was going back and forth with Fig was because, unfortunately, the Tennessee tournament we flew out there was the day before the Tennessee tournament was a dead period. So that was unfortunate, right? The timing. We got to think about this. We were supposed to go to VTech that Friday, right? Fig was VTech was at the thing was like, man, once you're on campus, we're gonna offer these kids. But we were like, you know, you go to some schools and they say that and it doesn't happen. So I told the coaches, hey man, we're not gonna see you no more because it's Friday, the dead period, blah blah. He said, I'm gonna offer your kids tomorrow and I want you to come at midnight. And I ran it through Fig, right? And he said, let's do it. But very few programs, in my opinion, will open their doors at midnight. Like, I mean, and it wasn't just, let's go see the thing and everything. It was, we were there for like 2.5, 3 hours playing basketball in the gym, in the court where the basketball team plays, photos, everything. So, I mean, you see that, and they called it Midnight Madness, and it was like a big thing for them.
Yeah.
But not many schools, if I call some schools, hey, man, I'm coming at 1 in the morning, they're going to be like, all right, like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just like you said, even the local schools, I can say USC, sure, I talked to Gus Malzahn more than I talked to Clay Helton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even like how bad UCLA does recruiting. I mean, I saw Chip Kelly came to my school. I talked to Chip more than I talked to Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely something that they need to address. And, you know, we've been talking to a number of guests on this show, and, you know, like they said, with the staff improvements, that's definitely addressing recruiting. But, you know, the presence of the head coach on campuses, especially local campuses, I think is definitely something big, like you mentioned.
It is big.
Is USC in general doing a better job recruiting right now? Since February.
I mean, I think they are, little by little. You know what I mean?
Are you getting the feedback from the premium kids, or is this something like that you're feeling yourself?
I just could see it like on social media. You know what I mean? I really don't ask the kids, like, let them be the kids, and, you know what I mean, let them enjoy it. I really don't, hey, how's this coach doing with you? How's that coach doing with you? And stuff like that, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's the coach's job to want that kid and sell. At the end of the day, that coach has to sell that kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I always tell the kid, you got to go, like, even Ahmad, one of our premium dudes, our premium staff members, like he even says it, quote, the best. You got to go where you're wanted, not needed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these kids are needed. Not many are wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to go where you're wanted and needed. And I always say, me personally, is competition is never a question, right? I'm never scared to compete. But I want to go into the fight looking for a knockout. I don't want to go 12 rounds in a decision between the staff. So what I mean is, I want to look at the depth chart. I want to see who's leaving, who's staying. You know what I mean? And all that stuff. Because it has to make sense. It has to make sense for me in order to go there. But some people view it differently. You know what I mean? And everyone has their opinion, and I might be wrong. You know, I'm not saying I'm right. I might be wrong too.
We hear that a lot in recruiting when it comes to depth charts, but I never really get a sense of how well the kid actually is familiar with the depth chart, because he'll say it in the interview and then he'll commit to a school that has like 8 receivers in that class. But do these kids really look at the depth charts, or do you guys have to kind of inform them sometime? Like, hey, I mean,
we inform them, but we kind of give them give kids questions to ask coaches too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But to see it, like I was in Miami or Manny Diaz's office, and I want to see the board. Like, show me the board.
Right.
Like, just don't tell me. I want to see it. Like, show me, you know?
Yeah.
But two is like, the coach might sound good on the phone and everything like that, but if I go to a practice and I see the way he coached, is his style, can it relate to me? Or we're going to be butting heads? But I always tell kids, like, if a school wants you, right, Midwest, East Coast, South, whatever, they're going to make you work. Because they didn't skip all these states to get you. You know what I mean? You go to school in your backyard. If you don't work out, whatever. If I'm from LA, right? I'm from LA, like the East Side, East LA, right? If I went to USC, and I got my shot, or whatever, and it didn't work out. They don't care about me. They don't care about that because you know why? The next kid, my next door neighbor, see, he wants to go to USC too, right? But when you go from here to the Midwest or whatever, and it doesn't work out because of the coaches, that coach can never come to LA and recruit again.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference. Like, I'm gonna make you work. Like, I tell people, Bryce and DJ, besides being phenomenal athletes, they're gonna make Bryce work. Bryce is gonna have to lose it himself. You know what I mean? And DJ, after Trevor leaves, he's gonna have to lose it himself because they're gonna give him every chance to do. Because you know why? Because if it's bad, those kids are gonna come back to California, talk about how it was a lie and everything, that no kid from California doesn't ever want to go over there.
Right, and it hurts local too. You know, you skip over a couple quarterbacks in Georgia for a California kid, and they say, "Oh, that California kid didn't work out. You went all the way out there."
Exactly, because you know why? Because if SC offering kids in the South and East Coast, the coaches in California are telling them, why are you skipping our kids for? So that's the same thing that happens over there, right?
Right.
If I call Banks at Bama, he has to answer to the coaches in his area too of why they're skipping over kids to get a California cat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Speaking of separation, so to speak, so how often are you talking to your players about staying in shape? You know, the college coaches, that's a big challenge right now, is keeping everybody on the same page on a regimen.
Yeah, I was talking
about, you know, your kids are from an area where, you know, we're talking about minorities.
Yeah.
Where they might not have a lot of the resources necessary. So we just say, you know, just keep running. You know what I mean? I think I heard it good from a coach from the East Coast the other day. He says, you know, the kid's age, the memory of weightlifting, that muscle and everything, that will come back immediately. But that running, you don't want to lose running. You know what I mean? Right. So we tell them, say, you know, keep as best as they can. And obviously, you know, some parents are different than others. So, you know, some are going to let the kids get out of the house, some aren't. And that's just the reality of things now. But, you know, we try to be on them. But like you said, being a minority, one of my starting receivers, he works with his dad, and he's almost sliced his finger off. Like, he's in stitches right now. But, you know, I mean, he's recovering now. But the moment, it was scary. I almost lost his finger, you know. But it's just kids that now they're not in school, but their dads pick up construction work wherever they can, and they got to get out of the house to help their dad. You know, I mean, they got to go to work. You know, like, sure, I had one of my starting corners. He missed the game because he had to go to work on a Friday night. Like coach, he was crying. Like, coach, I want to go, but I want to play. But you know, if I don't, because he helps his family out. What am I supposed to do? Bench the kid the following week because it's his family situation.
Right.
I'm here to support him.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. In my 1 year high school experience coaching, I lost my top corner to the family farm in Mexico for the summer. So that was rough coming back in August. I
bet. But it's something you can't control. Like, you know what I mean? If my parents said, hey, we're leaving tomorrow, we're relocating, we'll be back in 5 months. What am I going to fight? What am I going to do?
You got to show the kids support in whatever way you can. You know?
All right, Matt, who are some guys that are being under-recruited in Southern California?
My two guys.
All right. Might be both those guys are going to go play at Power 5 schools. So, you know, what is Anthony Rosas is a guard, in case you guys don't know. How many offers is he up to now?
Like 14, 15.
Yeah. And then Nick is in the 20s now?
Probably in the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch Nick's film tonight. I wasn't familiar with him, but he looks like a very interesting prospect, and especially saying that he's only played 1 year of football.
Yeah, that's the thing when coaches say, like, man, hide him, coach. The SEC schools tell me, hide him, coach, hide him, because I mean they see the raw ability, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they see him coming in, redshirting a year, and they cut the chain off the following year and let him go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got a kid like him, being in the foster system, he's not eating right? He's not sleeping right.
Right. You got to get him into that conditioning for 1 year.
Yeah. You put him on a 3-meal plan a day, eating good, weightlifting. You know what I mean? Control. You take him to the strength trainer on the first day, and you tell the strength coach you put 30 pounds on him by next spring. You know what I mean?
And it'll all be muscle coming off that kid.
He's a good kid, too. He's genuinely a good kid, too. That's, you know, so, you know. by the time he does get off the school and red shirts or whatever, if he has to, he's going to be a kid that is ready to go, and he's going to be somebody a coach doesn't have to worry about. All right, we're going to do this. I wanted to do this maybe a whole show of something like this, but we'll try and do a little short segment on this. I don't keep it to offense. Of the players you've seen in 2021, if you had to pick 2 wide receivers, who would they be? Matt. Are you gonna get unless you're gonna get in trouble?
Nah, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I mean, if I had to pick a slot in this class, one slot, I'm picking Orion Peters.
Okay.
As a slot, Orion Peters. But again, here I'm gonna pick my outside guy as he's the most under recruited guy in the state of California right now, Clay Petrie from San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
What school in San Diego? Do we know?
He was at Bishop's. He goes to school with Tyler Buckner.
Got it. Damn. Well,
he's the most the 6'2" kid in California. He's the most under recruited.
All right. Well, I mean that stuff like that. I like hearing that kind of stuff because I'm really not familiar with them. Normally, this is the time of year I'm getting familiar with a lot of guys, right? We're out.
I've never heard these names, and we're being robbed of.
I have heard the name only because of social media. I know, only because of social media and because Premium and those guys do an awesome job of making sure that name somehow will cross our paths. But I haven't seen him play. All right, how about a quarterback? All right, you can't. All right, this is a tough one. You can't have Jake or Miller or any premium quarterback.
Okay, no premium. Okay, no premium quarterback.
Yes. The top guys are premium.
Okay. No premium quarterback. I would choose besides the program, besides premium sports. I would choose Cole Lord, kid from Brentwood.
Oh, okay.
I think he has a good upside. And then I think my guy, the kid from the transfer from Garfield, I think he's gonna be a Division I AA kid for sure, or a small Division I school. I mean, that's my opinion. But I think Cole Lord for Power 5 school, I think they're passing up on him.
All right.
If we're talking about non-premium quarterbacks, you know what I mean?
Yes. If we need a running back, who is the running back that we need to get? He left me.
Running backs. Sure, I think I don't know, man. Running backs is tough in this class in California.
Yeah. Byron Cardwell, San Diego.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard about
the 2 top backs on the West Coast are Prophet Brown from up north and Byron Cardwell from San
honestly,
Diego.
I don't know if Prophet Brown's going to be a running back, though. He could play anywhere on the field.
Yeah.
Something might turn him into a corner.
All right.
Sure.
All right. I was thinking for a feat. Anyway, we'll talk about this after, but yeah, we may have lost Matt. We've been going for about.
You hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
We just couldn't see him anymore.
You see me now? I can't see you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You back.
You got us now?
Oh, you back now.
We're good.
All right. Well, running back has been a hard one on the West Coast actually for a few years now. It's not like the West Coast has been loaded with running backs. The West Coast has had some. Southern California just hasn't been that strong last couple of years. I don't know what the deal is.
A lot of schools are going more running back by committee in these systems that they use, so you don't see that feature back as much, so it might not be as much film out there for a guy. Like Bosco's in a rare situation to have 3 sophomore backs that all have the potential to get recruited.
Do you think it has anything to do with the type of offenses that schools are running now, Coach? Maybe at the
probably
being is
probably.
I mean,
I think like a Relief Brown is gonna be highly taught out because he can do a lot. He can be in the slot, he can motion out,
right?
He can be in the backfield. I just don't know what he's gonna be at the next level. I don't know if he's gonna be a slot or whatever, but he's very versatile, meaning like what he can do capability wise. You know what I mean?
He's gonna score a lot of touchdowns.
And that's what I was gonna ask you, Coach. What do you think the value of the running back is in college football? What do you think these running backs need to have to bring that value to a team?
You gotta definitely catch the ball in the backfield.
Right.
Definitely got that them days of just block and just run the ball is gone. You got to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right.
That's for sure. I mean, more than ever, like USC, they're talking these running backs out. You can we'll give you the ball 10 times, carry the ball 10 times, and you might get 6 to 8 catches as well. You know, that's how they're talking about using a running backs. And for some guys, that actually kind of scares them away right now. There's some running backs that are really unsure about USC because of the air raid. And last year, because of injuries to the running back, USC didn't run the ball that much. You know, Keaton Slovis was throwing for 500 yards a game. And anyway.
No, I went back and I looked at our totals, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they totaled about 1,600 yards on the ground. So if you look at the cumulative total of all the backs, it wasn't necessarily bad. It was inconsistent at times.
All right.
Well, yeah, we can debate whether or not when healthy they were used enough, but it's
correct. Inconsistent, like we said, inconsistent.
But the other issue was, when they were healthy. So how much that contributed to them being.
Now, I'm not saying running back inconsistency. I'm just saying inconsistency across.
I hear you loud and clear. I'm on the same page.
All right, so I have one more question, and this is about 7-on-7. We all know where 7-on-7 started. B2G was kind of the program, and and Claiborne and Keyshawn, and there were guys that came around. There have been guys that have come and gone. Now we got Premium, we've got Ground Zero, we've got ProWay, we've got Premier. There's some other programs. OC Lee. I don't know all the programs anymore.
Yeah, I don't know any of those programs either.
Right. So it became whatever. All right. So it became very competitive. Where do you see 7-on-7 going? Can 7-on-7 become as big as AAU?
I don't know if it's become as big, but it's definitely going to be there. Like, it's definitely a 7-on-7 has helped more kids than it has hurt kids.
Yeah.
And I'm all for helping kids. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
And these people that are biased, right, about 7-on-7 this, 7-on-7 that, I get it. Everyone has their own opinion, right? But when these coaches or high school coaches or whatever say that doesn't help you, they're lying. It helps you. When these people on Yahoo put these articles up saying no one listens to 7-on-7 coaches, no one looks at that stuff, college coaches wise, they're lying.
They are lying,
right?
I can assure everybody also that's 100%.
If I'm a head coach, I'm denying in the media, but I'm calling the person on the other line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Right.
Because personally, our organization, we got in kids offers from a tournament, at the tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
We lose Matt again. I was gonna do something with Matt if he's still there.
He's just a little frozen right now.
Yeah.
You go elsewhere.
I was gonna record something and then use it tomorrow. I wasn't gonna put it into the show. I was gonna try and save it to the very end.
Best thing I could suggest, if he can hear us.
He's in.
Leave the
I
meeting
just
and come back in.
He had to connect through
back in the room.
There
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, no. So back to the thing about 7-on-7. Those people are just biased, man. Because our organization has gotten kids offers before the tournament, during the tournament, after the tournament, because the clip of the tournament, and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So if it helps, I think it helps. I think it helps a kid more than it hurts a kid.
I mean, dude, I've got college coaches asking for video from every 7-on-7 event. So our
organization has gotten kids offers because our word, they know our word is good, but also because the kid is good, right? But it's just and little videos that the kid can't do, or things that he can't do at a practice or whatever. You know what I mean? If I'm a receiver and I'm dunking on a 5-star corner who got 20 offers, I got it on video, and I'm sending it out. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, this is a kid you offered? Check what my kid just did to him. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But so I think it helps the kid more than it hurts the kid, and some people are biased for it. Some people hate 7-on-7, and it's not necessary and everything. I think it is, because regardless of you have people blitzing or not, or what they say it's not real football, in 7-on-7 they're running man, in 7-on-7 they're running cover 2, in 7-on-7 they're running cover 3, cover 4, whatever. So a quarterback, you're able to see it, you know what I mean, easier. A lot of the questions for quarterbacks are he can't read a defense.
Well, here's the feedback I've gotten from a couple Power 5 offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches, is they feel these kids coming out of high school are far, far more ready to play as true freshmen now.
Yep.
Because of 7-on-7.
That's what helps us in California is that you're right, Scott. Most coaches from across the country say that's what California kids have an advantage on because because of our weather, we can play football every day of the year. Not right now because of the virus, but you know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. I was going to say
in certain areas that hurts the kid. I mean, if it's snowing on the ground for a whole week, I can't go out there.
Right. And with that, just more exposure, period, for the kids. I think more exposure to football, more exposure to coaches like you guys do when we talked about with Coach Fig and how you said earlier, how you take these kids to different campuses, take them across the country to get them this experience. All this exposure can't do anything but help a kid.
It can't do anything but help a kid, man. Can't do anything but help a kid. And that's why I like people when they label people street agents, all this stuff, man. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, you see something, but you just don't know what really is going on. You know what I mean? So you hear people, and it's like, right, Scott, I tell you something, you tell Mark, by the time it gets to Brandon, it's 4 different ways. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no one really knows how this thing goes and operates, but I do, you know? And we're blessed to, and Scott, like, you know, the people in this group know it, and it's good. And I think some high school coaches are just in fear of it because they think that they lose a kid. I always say, being in high school, my high school, or any high school I've been a part of, I say, if a kid want to leave, I ain't gonna argue it. I ain't gonna say bad about him. I'm gonna have my AD sign off on him or whatever because the way I feel about it is if a kid wants to leave my program, I'm doing something wrong. I got to reevaluate myself, our coaching staff, our admin team, and everything because we're doing something wrong because this kid shouldn't have left anyways. You know what I mean? Kids should want to come, not want to leave.
Right.
Well, and I think that's probably where, at least for me, and I've been very outspoken about 7-on-7. I think overall, it's great for the young men, but I think we would be remiss if we didn't say there are elements of 7-on-7 as well as AAU basketball that just it's not that they scare us. It's bad and it leaves.
But some of the elements, Marcus, I think that this is the one element that you would say that is bad is the early offers, because if you're a freshman, right, or 8th grade or whatever, you get these offers. You want to go to a school, high school. Well, this is the way I think. You want to go to high school that you want to be on the field right now. So you got those kids that like I think Nero said it the other day on the show. Mission Viejo lives off Bosco quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But these kids want to get on the field. You know why? They want to get on the field because their dads and moms are in a group chat on social media or whatever, and they see Scott's son got an offer from Florida today. They see Mark's kid got an offer from Alabama today, and then Brandon's over there looking like my kid's better than these kids. How come we don't have an offer? So, but I can't. If I'm a high school, I can't put all 80 kids I got like at Bosco. I can't modern day. I can't put all those kids on the field at one time.
Yeah.
So is the kid. But so if he wants, so if you go to a school, right? I don't think it matters from what division you're in. Obviously, you can play for national championship at Bosco modern day. You could do this, you can do that. There are a lot more things, right? They have a bigger Nike deal than other schools. They have a lot to offer. I'm not saying they're bad programs or any program is bad, right? They do a great job with what they got, and I commend them, and I commend those guys. But like I told parents, I'm not going to beg you to come to my school. Because you know why? Because modern day and Bosco is not begging you to go to their school. Why are you going to their school? Or why are you going to these bigger time schools? I'm not going to beg you to come to my school. You should see what we can do for your son or whatever. You know, you want exposure. You want to get noticed. Okay, come to my school. You want a good education. I think public school education. I went to private school. I think private school education is a joke. Come to public school, right? You want small class sizes. Well, so my classroom, some of my classes are 16-1, 24-1, smaller than private schools. But people are so taught up to this, and it's a public school or this and that, you know, because you know, at the end of the day, my son or daughter can fail at a private school,
right?
Or can get into drugs at a private school. But if the household's strong, you shouldn't have to worry about none of that.
Correct.
You know, obviously there's areas that I don't want to go because it's in the projects or whatever. But for them schools that are doing good and the culture is changing, you know, go now. Like I thought, like we had a kid like last year. I want to come. Oh, I don't believe I don't believe you guys are gonna do that. Now he wants to come. But you know what? Now I don't want you no more. Right. You didn't believe in me. You didn't believe in me. You know what I mean?
Let him come and put him at the bottom of the depth chart. Work his way up.
Yeah. You don't believe in me now.
Right.
But now you believe. No.
I think that's big what you guys are doing with that culture change out there. I mean, me personally, from everything we've talked about in this session, as a parent, I'd love for my son to come play for your program. He's going to get exposure. He's going to get real coaching. He's going to get tough love. You know, and that's the type of programs, especially in public schools, that these kids need to be.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. Like me, it's like me and my dad are like old school, new school, right? He has old school ways. Like he played in the 70s, never lost a high school football game. He wouldn't play for Wyoming under Pat Dye before Pat Dye went to Auburn. So he's an old school, like, man, we're gonna, you know what I mean? We're gonna run through the wall 10 times a day.
You guys I want you to meet his dad too. His dad's
we're gonna run through the wall 10 days a week, like, you know, this coronavirus, you're soft, you know what I mean, and all this stuff. He's old school, like, you know what I mean? What coronavirus shit? We can beat it, you know. So, you know, then I'm the new school guy, so it's like, hey, he's my dad. He has a final say, so hey, it is what it is. Like some kids test the water and we benched them. Like I'll take a loss to prove a point. Like he's not scared to take a loss.
Right.
You know.
I think when I was coaching, that was one of the things that was hardest for me as an assistant coach. When I would see an issue with a young man and I want to take disciplinary action, and my head coach would be like, "Nah, we need him this week."
Yeah,
because it's very frustrating when everybody in the family ain't on the same page.
Yeah, because you know why? Because that one kid ain't bigger than your program.
Exactly.
And then that senior does it. What's gonna happen when that junior sees that senior do it? Man, next year I can do that too. That can do that same thing.
Shit, that sophomore, freshman too. You know, it's a trickle down. Next thing you know, you out of a coaching job.
Yeah, and then we have it like, if you don't come before summer, like right now would be spring ball, right? Like we don't come in May, don't come into the following season. Like we don't want you no more. Unless you a transfer or whatever, you can't, like you like what are you waiting for? You know what I mean? Like we're not playing you because this is not fair for my kid that's been here since January, weight room and conditioning, for you to say, I just don't want to come because I don't feel like it right now. I'm gonna come in March. You know what I mean?
Now I hate to throw this out there, but do you guys make exception for spring athletes?
Yeah, if you're in a spring sport or whatever, we respect it. I like all my kids run track. No, we gotta respect that.
Right. That's what I was thinking of mostly.
And that's how small public schools survive, man. You guys share athletes. You know, you can't be scared to share them. Like I'm at the basketball coach. I'm recruiting some basketball kids. I'm volleyball. Every school on my campus. I'm every sport. I'm recruiting those kids, and we got to work together because shit, we don't got many. You know what I mean?
Hey Matt, I was gonna see if Anthony Beavers would be willing to join us for the end of our segment.
Man, bring him on. Bring him on.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna
bring him on. He's gonna commit to Indiana right now. Bring him on.
Yes, I'm actually gonna record the part with Anthony, part of it to put on after tomorrow after he announces.
Do you have a hard time dealing with parents either when you're coaching at high school or at the 7-on-7? Were they?
I don't think so. I think the organization. Let's say 7-on-7. The organization. It's like proof is in the pudding, right? You might not like this. You might not like some kind of ways, but the facts are the facts. The reality is, we put a lot of kids in college, and we help a lot of kids grow, and we do a lot for these kids. So the deliveries of some people might be different than others, but I think the overall thought of that my kid's in good hands, and his heart is for my kid. That's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now I want to ask: do you have to adjust your coaching style going from high school to 7-on-7, being the level of athlete that you're working with?
Nah, I'm kind of like me. This is who you're gonna get, and this is how I am, and and some are gonna like it, some are not gonna like it, and I'm not here to be loved. I'm here I'm here for organization. They ask me to help this kid. I'm gonna help the kid as much as I can. And at my school, I'm here to win games and put kids in school, in college. You know what I mean? I'd rather have 10 kids sign Division I on my school than to win a championship. Even though I want to win a championship, you know what I mean. But I want to see kids. I want to see kids get out of the situation they're in and further their football career with education if they can. You know what I mean?
Wow.
All right, Anthony Beavers is busy right now. He's a busy student. I mean, the thing about Anthony that people don't realize is Anthony's like Stanford smart.
Yeah, he has like a 3.9